Guests are arriving. Could we have everyone seated? I can see we're still serving some breakfast. Okay. As we all find our places to sit, we'd like to begin. We're already running late. So I'd like to welcome you all to this Partners Breakfast for the International Association of Science Parks and Areas of Innovation, focusing on the World Conference of 2024, which is going to be hosted right here in Nairobi, Kenya. We will begin with the national anthem. We will first play the Kenya national anthem, followed by the East African national anthem. So I'll request you all to rise for the national anthem.
Mungu twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Uzalendo pia mshikamano viwe msingi wa umoja wetu, na tulinde uhuru na amani, mila zetu na desturi zetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Viwandani na hata mashambani, tufanye tufanye kazi sote kwa makini, tujitoe kwa hali na mali, tuijenge jumuiya bora. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Thank you, everyone. You may have your seats. As we begin, I'd like to recognize the presence of our chief guest, the Permanent Secretary, the Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, Engineer John Tanui. I'd also like to recognize the presence of the PS Higher Education, Professor Beatrice Inyangala, all the heads of mission, the CEOs of various corporations, our various development partners, and all the invited guests. Thank you for taking the time to be. Now, we will start by having the CEO of Konza Technopolis, Mr. John Okwiri, to come up and give us some opening remarks. CEO.
To our chief guest, our PS and the PSs present, our PS, Engineer John Tanui, the PS of Industry and Trade, PS Abubakar, PS for Higher Education, Beatrice Inyangala, CEO of IASP Global, Ebalund, our chairman, Professor Raphael Munavu, my fellow colleague CEOs present, our distinguished partners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once again. Thank you all for gracing today's milestone event, where we will brief you in detail on the upcoming ISP conference for the year 2024 and the activities of the ISP across the African continent. My duty today is to welcome you to this ISP Partners event and to lay ground for the discussions that we will have towards the ISP Global Conference 2024. We have designed this breakfast meeting specifically for you, our partners, from across a wide spectrum of institutions, including fellow ISP members, heads of missions, government agencies, innovation system stakeholders, private sector, and international development organizations. It has been a long journey to get to this point, and we are very excited to invite you to this momentous occasion for the country, for Africa, and for the world. At the outset, I wish to note that Konza Technopolis is a key flagship project of Kenya's Vision 2030 economic development portfolio, aiming to be a world-class smart city powered by a thriving ICT sector and superior infrastructure to power the country's ambition towards a knowledge-based economy, and that is the African Silicon Savannah, enabling the economic transformation of Kenya. Konza is also a member of the International Association of Science Parks and Areas of Innovations, which is a global network of science parks and innovation ecosystem. A powerful network of science parks and areas of innovation all over the world, many of who are already developing cutting-edge innovations and technologies, creating new value systems to enable the economic transformation of the regions. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, Science Park and innovation ecosystems are dynamic and diverse and require constant adaptation and collaboration among various stakeholders. We believe that this year's ISP conference comes at an opportune time in our nation's development. It is our moment to leverage our networks and platform to support Kenya and African innovation ecosystem, science parks, companies, and communities, especially startups and SMEs, to evolve and commercialize, to access new markets, resources, and opportunities by creating global linkages through such conferences as the ISP 2024 Global Conference. We will do this by fostering a culture of creativity, experimentation, and collaboration, and encourage the development of new products and solutions that meet the needs and expectations of the customers and the users. This will also include promoting the ISP Inspiring Solutions Program, a knowledge-sharing initiative, and a way to recognize excellence within the worlds of science parks and areas of innovation. It also means that we will be a catalyst for economic growth, social development, and environmental protection, as illustrated in the various sustainable programs that we have rolled out at Konza Smart City. I am encouraged by the words of Dlamini Nzuma, the former chairman of the African Union Commission, when she said that the people of any civilization are its greatest resource, and if the collective mindset is attuned towards self-belief, solidarity, and self-reliance, then the civilization will triumph against all odds. There is no better opportunity to showcase our individual and collective desire and action as a country and continent towards economic transformation, powered by the role of science, technology, and innovation than the 2024 ISP conference. I am confident that together with our partners present here today, we will collaborate to deliver the platform that will enable knowledge exchange, experience sharing, learning, networking, and new collaborations towards actions, even as we push towards Vision 2030. Our strategic focus at Konza Technopolis over the next 5 years is to accelerate the impact of Konza Technopolis as a center of excellence, powering Kenya's knowledge economy and unlocking the potential of African Silicon Savannah. I believe this conference will provide the much-needed impetus for this ambition. With those few remarks, I wish to welcome you all to this breakfast meeting so that we are able to discuss and collaborate in a way that will make this ISP conference of the year 2024 a success. Thank you very much. I would like to welcome my colleague from ICT Authority, who is also our partner institution within the ministry, to just make a few remarks before I invite our chairman. I will also make his remarks, then we open up the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, CEO. Our chief guest, please allow me to adopt the protocols earlier laid out in the interest of time. And just say hello and good morning to everybody. Good morning once again. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to join all of us here today. And first, I want to congratulate our chief guests and our cabinet secretary for leading the charge in the bidding process for this conference. I also want to congratulate the CEO Konza and the team for your dedication and bringing this home. We really appreciate. Let's appreciate them with a clap. I think this is just one of the testaments that we have that clearly demonstrates that Kenya is truly a technology hub. And we want to believe that we have an opportunity to continue to be the gateway for Africa in this area of technology. The buzz is already out there for what the country is doing, and we want also to bring together the rest of Africa so that together we can be able to achieve a digitally inclusive continent. It is our belief that technology is going to play an even more critical role in shaping our economy, and therefore really the call for us as government, private sector, and our development partners is how then we put our strengths together to make sure that we can achieve these aspirations and improve the living standards of our people. With those few remarks, I really want to thank you and also let you know that we do have a number of other lined up continental conferences this year. And again, this just goes to be a testament of the confidence that the continent and the world has in us. We have the Connected Africa Summit coming up in April. We have another conference on data protection. Just this week, we had the Smart Africa team doing evaluation where Kenya is placing a bid, and we really hope that we'll be able to host that conference next year. In 2025, we also will be hosting a conference on open data. So the focus is on us. We are living at an interesting time, and we can take full advantage of these engagements. We are hoping that these engagements are also going to bring in investments that will help us to grow not only the sector, but the entire economy. With those few remarks, I wish us fruitful deliberations and successful planning of the conference later in September. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our chairman, Professor Raphael Punavu.
Good morning, everybody. Let me recognize the PSs who are here with us. Let me recognize the CEOs of distinguished parastatus institutions who are here with us, both locally, regionally, and internationally. Let me recognize very specially representatives and the CEO of the International Association of Science Parks, and that is Eva Lund. Welcome on board. And let me recognize all the partners who are here with us. Those from academia, private sector, and basically all the collaborators, and to welcome you to today's function. And this is really the beginning of a planning process, because we have, and this I say on behalf of the board of directors of Concert Technopolis, that we have been given a responsibility. And it's not a national responsibility or regional, but it's an international responsibility to host the 41st global international collaboration on science parks. Science parks are unique entities. There are areas where you bring together critical players. You bring researchers, you bring, including academia, you bring entrepreneurs, you bring everybody together so that the knowledge we generate is not meaningful unless you can find a process through entrepreneurship that you can make it be able to be used to transform our economies, to transform our societies moving forward. And it is a major challenge. So to be ready, and we only have 9 months to do this, we felt it is necessary for us to link up with partners, all of you, so that as we begin this process, moving towards this trajectory, that vision of having the get-together, and we look at emerging technologies, we look at issues, even if we have to look at indigenous technologies, technologies that are going to transform the way we look at our societies and we bring socio-economic development. I like the themes that this engagement is going to be addressing: demographics, entrepreneurship, and technology, so that we can be able to define the frontiers of future economies. So this engagement is extremely useful, and KONZA has been given a challenge, but it's a challenge that we must work collaboratively with partners. It's not easy, but it can be done, and we have no choice, but we have to deliver, and we have to do it. And one of the ways of knowing whether you can deliver is, have you done something in the past? And for KONZA, yes. For Kenya, yes. Hosting international entities or international engagements and so on, and we have done it. So as we move forward, it is very important for us to, number one, listen very clearly and carefully, and realize that although this is international, really we must look for a way in which, as Kenyans, when you have, for example, paper presentations, we have researchers here. I see my colleagues here from NRF and from Kenya and from NACOSTI and so on. This is extremely important. So please look for an opportunity to come and showcase what you are doing and how you are actualizing your mandate. It is a very important thing. We can't move alone. We have to move with all the partners, and all of you are partners that are extremely important. And always when you are requested to do something, ask yourself, why have you been requested? And it is because those ones looking at you from the back know you can deliver. So please, as we move, this is a beginning process, but let's look for, JP, please. Let's look for a way in which we continue to engage with this team, together with our partners, development partners, etc., so that we can keep our eyes on the ball and say, how is what we are going to do between 24th and 27th of September this year, how is it going to transform our economies? How is it going to transform our systems, not only economics, but also education systems, so that we are not just focusing on knowledge, focusing on technology, but we are focusing on how these sectors transform our economy. And I think that is extremely useful, it's important. I therefore welcome you on board. Please, let's work as partners. Let's smile at each other periodically. You know, we are used to a situation where we say clap, clap. But now let's transform that and say, please, can we smile at each other? Yes, and so on. I am not very good at smiling, but at least I can try. As we move forward, I really want to appreciate the support that we are getting from our ministry. And PS, please extend our really appreciation to the CS. What we are doing is from the support that we have been getting from the ministry, but also from the presidency. So it is really a project which is a Kenyan project. But we are driving it, and I believe that come next year and the year after, we are going to see transformation. transformation of our country, transformation of our region, transformation of the human race. And that transformation will be brought by the outcomes that we will get from this activity, which is scheduled for September this year. Please, as much as possible, please let us be active. And whatever it is that you can provide input and support, whether it is through experience that you may have, whether it is through any resources, I don't want to say money, but just any resources, including cash if you can, to bring this on board. Because to organize an international activity like this requires a lot of commitment, and we have only 9 months. So please, as much as we can, let's begin to ensure that we have the 15 sub-themes coordinated. Let's ensure that we have our research institutes within Kenya, but also any in the region and internationally that want to come on board and display their activities. Let's look for a way in which we are going to bring young people, entrepreneurs, creative, and so on, who can also play and so on, and come on board. And sessions, and especially definition of the themes. And as you take us through today, please let us reflect on the themes that we are talking about, 15 themes. Are they the ones that we believe? Is there some input we can give so that we move forward? Let me welcome you. And to me, this is something which is going to be memorable for all of us. We appreciate, and on behalf of Konza Technopolis, I want to thank all of you. Declare yourselves friends of Konza Technopolis, so that, and we will have special card, JP, so that when we have friends like this, we have a card that says, yes, so-and-so, a special friend of Konza Technopolis, and the card should have a number, which means you can come to Konza anytime and so on. And even if you are from outside the country, using that card, and you are coming to Konza, then you get VIP pass. And the card number 001 will be to, yeah, it will be, of course, Eva. Yeah, it will be to Eva from Spain. And I have shared with her, and she has basically agreed. I was able to persuade her that next time she comes to Kenya, she will come with one-way ticket. Come, no going back. May I welcome all of you. And please, can we take this very seriously? And whatever it is we take home, let's keep the engagement going as we move on. And we should develop a way in which every 3 months we brief, okay, the team of how far we are going, the challenges and the opportunities, and how we are exploiting the opportunities that we have. It is not as Konza, but also as Kenya and as a country. God bless you.
I think we can appreciate the speakers better than that. Thank you, CEOs and Chairman. Next, I'd like to invite the Chief Manager, Business Development and Innovation, Konza, Ms. Josephine Dambuki, to give a presentation and give a call to action. Remember, we're not just here to feed you, we want you to do something after this. Josephine?
Thank you very much, my colleague Louis, and our distinguished guests, our chief guests, Principal Secretary, Ministry of ICT and the Digital Economy, our PS, Ministry of Education, and distinguished guests, all protocol observed. Good morning. Good morning. Allow me to welcome you to this session and to welcome you to Konza Technopolis and to welcome you to the IASP World Conference 2024. I'll request my colleagues to share the presentations on screen as I start to take you through it. So I'll want to put a case for science parks and areas of innovation in Africa and the reason why we are having the IASP Conference 2024 in Africa. And to start, I want to say that Konza Technopolis is the home of the Africa Silicon Savannah. Our offices is the cradle of the Silicon Savannah, and our vision is to develop a leading global technopolis and innovation hub, and to develop a sustainable, thriving smart city and a vibrant innovation ecosystem that will contribute to Kenya's knowledge-based economy. Our core clusters is ICT and IT-enabled services, life sciences, and engineering. And to deliver on those clusters, we have R&D, education, high-quality education, and of course, commerce and enterprise development. The Technopolis is a Vision 2030 deliverable project of the government of Kenya, and the idea behind Konza Technopolis is to transform Kenya to a middle-income, industrializing, knowledge-based economy. And so really, as we reflect on those foundations for Konza Technopolis, then we start to appreciate why Konza Technopolis is really working hard with our partners to host the IASP Global Conference. Sorry. So Konza Technopolis has set out to establish a center of excellence, which is the smart city, and also a platform. And the platform is what will power the Silicon Savannah innovation ecosystem and extend the benefits of a knowledge economy, not only to Konza the place, but to the country in general. We have inputs which are driving this architecture and this vision, and our inputs is really the economic sectors that we've defined, the establishment of critical infrastructure, policies to drive this space, talent development, funding models to support the R&D sector and the startup space, as well as digital platforms that then provide the transition for the country to become a knowledge-based economy. In the middle of it is R&D, innovation, and commercialization of innovation. And the outputs we want to see is jobs created, startups and enterprises supported, a growing GDP of the country, policy implications that are being implemented, knowledge, new knowledge and innovation, and sustainable development and sustainable living. And so the science parks component is the concept of a science park is really a specialized area that promotes innovation, collaboration, R&D, and development of technology and scientific research. In this space, there are different players, and all these players are represented this morning in this room. We have research facilities, academic institutions, technology transfer offices, innovation centers, startups and incubators, facilities and best-in-class infrastructure, as well as industry and support. I want to bring to your attention that Africa is currently home to 600 tech hubs and a multitude of technology parks and also emerging smart cities. We also are members of IASP, which boasts a membership of over 300 science parks globally and 100,000 companies in 80 countries. Kenya alone has 68 universities, which are spread, and this is statistics as at 2022, of which 35 are public and 33 are private sector, and close to 200 startup hubs, making it the Africa's Silicon Savannah. Now, the global SCI priorities, that is the world over, we are seeing movement in the area of promotion for sustainable development. We are also looking at digitization and the fourth industrial revolution, cybersecurity, health, life sciences, biotechnology and genetic engineering, resiliency and disaster management, space tech, ed tech, inclusive innovation, advanced materials, partnerships. That is government and private sector collaboration. Now, when you look at the Africa context, these are still the same focus areas and priority areas that are informing research, technology, and innovation. So if you look at agriculture, how do we transform our agricultural system, renewable energy, healthcare, water solution, digital inclusion, among others. And here we are saying that more than ever before, providing new ways for collaborations, for scaled impact and problem solving for the Africa continent, working with the world is critical at this point. And specifically in Kenya, again, we see the priorities for science, technology, and innovation aligning to the global and African context, and adding on to top priority of our government, digitization and digital transformation, development of science parks and hubs, with Konza Technopolis leading, look at policy, review of policy environment, as well as both smart agri and other such technologies. But the cross-cutting here need is that addressing regional disparities. How do we prevent poverty and other such disparities that have existed for many, many decades? And also when you look at the indicators from an African context, we're looking at only 2 countries appearing in the top 10 in the lower upper, and also only in the lower upper economy level in the Global Innovation Index of 2023. Only 2 universities ranking in the world university rankings, and the first one is number 237, and also looking at the Nature Index that is starting to show a lot of focus in Africa, and the TechCrunch report that is showing an increased interest in startups and venture investments in Africa. And so this is the backdrop for which we are hosting the IASP. And as Konza Technopolis, we are looking at elevating this to become an Africa-wide hosted, collaborated effort to bring the world to Kenya, to Africa, to convene on matters of how can we really step change our innovation landscape, our science technology, science park, and areas of innovation. And so on that background, the theme for IASP was chosen, which is demographics, entrepreneurship, and innovation, demographics, entrepreneurship, and technology, defining the frontiers of future economies. And my team needs to move faster so that you can catch up with me. And in this main theme, we are working with the IASP team to partner and deliver discussions, action points, and initiatives that can stay long beyond the 1 week of convening that IASP presents. And so again, I will not speak much about IASP Global Conference because the CEO will speak to us, but really as Konza Technopolis, we are members of the Global IASP network and also support the IASP Africa chapter. We are honored to have with us the president of the IASP Africa chapter, who also is the PS, ICT and Digital Economy, Engineer John Tanui, and really it couldn't be a better opportunity for the country and for the region. And so as we reflect on this journey that we are embarking, we are looking at a conference that presents different sessions, a pre-conference training for science park managers, keynote speeches, panels, discussion forums, roundtables, paper presentations, social networking events, technical tours. Again, we want the visitors to experience technical setup. So really, and this is what we will work with you to deliver those technical tours and exhibitions in our spaces. And so just to reflect on the sub-themes, moving on ahead, about 2 slides. We have 15 sub-themes under the main theme of demographic, entrepreneurship, and technology. And this I will read very quickly: youth, entrepreneurship, ecosystem. Again, Africa is a very young continent, and the rest of the world have a slightly advanced population in terms of age. We're also looking at sustainable innovations for aging populations, digital transformation in education, distributed global manufacturing and shared value creation, innovation in emerging markets, future of work and talent development, ethical considerations in innovation, inclusive innovation for underserved population, circular economy and sustainability, disparities in demographic, food tech and climate change, STPs and areas of innovations as drivers of future economies, fintech sector and emerging funding models, the role of communication and evidence-based decision-making, and emerging technologies and AI. I think all of you could identify with something in those 15 sub-themes. And so for us, we expect a knowledge-sharing session, a session that highlights the best in the industry, a session that provides professionals, researchers, and entrepreneurs a chance to network, to share, to establish networks, and initiate projects and programs that can last beyond the conference period. A place of addressing common challenges affecting the world and cutting across different geographies. An advocacy platform for us to speak to the policies we want to see and to take steps to make that to happen. A way of enhancing technology transfer between the African continent and the first advanced world countries so that we can bridge the gap and reduce the disparities. And also an opportunity for education, capacity building, through workshops, seminar, keynote, and of course, the best of Nairobi and the best of Kenya, being seen as hospitality, culture, tourism, all this coming together in the week of the IASP. And so a few decisions already that have advanced is that we have the conference location will be at KICC. So we will all be at KICC for the week. We will have technical visits, with the first main visit being at Konza Technopolis. We have cultural events within Nairobi area. We have special events. We have a couple of dinners and award ceremonies that will be happening. And of course, we have to host the world's guests as they come to Kenya. So what's our picture of success? One is participation. We expect at least 700 professionals, advanced experts in the areas of science parks from all over the world. That number will be complemented by the African attendees, also just coming to network and meet. And so we are optimistic to have an upward of 2,000 just being at the conference. We are looking at connections, partnerships established, resource persons present, new members of IASP inducted. So we are already inducting members, and we are really happy to induct even from the audiences we have. Quality of paper submissions, the resource persons, the quality of that, the trainings that will be conducted for capacity building, experiences registered, technical tours experienced, and as well the conference declarations and commitments that will happen in that sense. And so at the moment we have a call for papers, so all of you are welcome to join the call for papers. This will allow you to be speakers in the conference, and again, just to mention that the conference is open to members of IASP and non-members. So please feel free to participate as you fit in the conference. We want, again, we want to join hands with you to co-create the sub-themes, the side events, the breakout sessions, all that. We are happy to work together. We also want to lead sessions, to sponsor sessions, and to really just take a front radar event or role in this activity. And for this is actually Kenya and Africa, and also just as we join the rest of the world. And so really there's a place for all of us at the IASP 2024 Global Conference, and I wish to take this opportunity to really thank you for coming and to welcome you to join as we plan for this conference and to deliver an exceptional, memorable, impactful session in September. Thank you.
Thank you, Josephine. Before we reach the conclusion, I'd like to invite a number of our partners to speak. I'll request you to keep your remarks brief so that we can catch up with the program. So first, I'd like to invite the ambassador from Argentina, Gabriela Martinique, to say a word or two. Gabriela, please. Oh, if you could...
Good morning, all. Thank you for this opportunity, together with my colleague Joaquin Salzberg, responsible at the embassy for our technological, economic, commercial section. We are very pleased to be here today and to get well in advance news about the preparations for this amazing conference as it looks to be. And we look forward to continue this conversation with you to see in which way Argentina can engage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gabriela. Next, I'd like to request the Director, Africa Area of Thunderbird School, Mr. Philip Tigo, if you could say a word or two. You're welcome to come front, though if you prefer, like Gabriela, to make your remarks where you are, that will work as well. Okay, we'll skip over Philip. I'm told he's stepped out. We would then want to invite the chairman of DX5, Harry Hare. If you could please, if you'd prefer, come to the front.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Really looking forward to making this a massive success. So I'm part of the steering committee. So we hope that you will join hands with us and make sure that we give the world the best ever event that we can provide. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we'd like to invite someone from academia, Professor Kioni, if you could give us some brief remarks. Prof? Okay, now I think the final person would be one of our development partners from the ecosystem, Mr. David Oginga. If you could please come to the front. Thank you, David.
Good morning, everyone. All protocol observed. Thank you very much for the invite. I remember landing here at 5:30 from Mombasa. So I bring you a lot of greetings from Mombasa. But I realized that some of my friends who are near the venue, when I was coming in, I was calling them, they were still sleeping. So, so it's not always that the nearer you are, the earlier you'll arrive. But I've been a friend of Konza. I remember during when they were bidding for the opportunity to host, I remember being the chairman of the Association of Country Innovation Hubs, and by then Engineer Tanui was in charge. And so I think we wrote very good recommendation letters. So I'm really glad that it worked and that Konza will be hosting the event. And so really, we really look forward to engaging with you as the innovation ecosystem. I think Kenya is doing very well. Yesterday, there was a report where we are leading in Africa in terms of startup funding. And so I think efforts like these and what's already ongoing, the government support really is giving a bright future to the young people, promoting economic development and jobs. So thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to meet you all.
Thank you, David. Last, I'd like to call Ben Roberts from Liquid. And this is the real final remark before we continue.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't expecting to say anything, but yeah, I'm also chair of the ICT sector in Kenya Private Sector Alliance, and I think this is going to be an exciting event. I'm looking forward to seeing participation, collaborations with, obviously, with private sector tech companies, and from all areas of technology. I really hope that there will be opportunities for young people, the youth and even younger people to take part. I think the areas of research need to start even earlier, maybe in high school even. So I'm really looking forward to this and hoping for a successful event. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. I'm told Professor Kioni has just rejoined us. If he could come to the front and give us his brief remarks.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm a member of the IASP Steering Committee, and I'm also from Dedan Kimathi University of Technology. And Dedan Kimathi University of Technology is a partner of Consa Technopolis. We were together when we made the bid, and we'll continue working together. The Vice Chancellor probably should be somewhere if he's not arrived yet. So we will support the conference, and we'll also be part of mobilizing the academia in Kenya so that they can also make the contributions. And given that we are also spearheading the establishment of a national science and technology park at the university, we will take advantage of hosting this international event to build the Kenyan ecosystem. And I have no doubt that we will be very successful. In addition to that, we are working with the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa to establish a regional hub for research and innovations, all driven towards helping Africa adopt STI as a vehicle for rapid transformation, industrialization, and attainment of the SDGs. So we will do our part in contributing to the success of IASP conference number 41. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, once again, I'd like to invite the CEO to come on board, who will then invite the chairman to invite the CEO of ISAP. Please.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, now it's my honor to invite the president of IASP Africa, so that he can take the opportunity to invite the CEO of IASP Global, and thereon he'll manage the program, because we also have colleague PSS in the house, and therefore, being a PS and also Africa president, he'll be able to manage the remaining of the protocols. So it's my honor to invite our PS, Engineer John Tanui, to welcome the guest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO Okwiri, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors present here, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors present, my colleagues, PSS, PS University Education, Dr. Beatrice Inyangala, my colleague, PS Hassan Abubakar, PS Principal Secretary for Investments, my colleague, PS for Industry, Dr. Chuma Mukwana, the Chairman of Consa Technopolis Development Authority, Professor Rafael Munafu, CEO Consa Technopolis Development Authority, CEO ICTA, and our friend and colleague, Hipa Loon, the CEO of IASP, that's the International Association of Science Parks and Areas of Innovations, which Concert Technopolis is a member. Our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a great pleasure for me to stand here, first as the current president of the African Division of the International Association of Science Parks, and to join all of you in this very important event in the calendar of activities leading up to the IASP 2024 conference. The meeting today has been arranged to share our progress with you regarding Concert Technopolis and the IASP division work, and specifically to update and invite you to join us in the preparation works needed to host the IASP Global Conference 2024 here in Nairobi, Kenya, September 2024. It's been a long journey towards this bid. Just to give some background, IASP has a membership of over 350. That's science parks like Concert Technopolis in over 80 countries. And in these countries, Concert Technopolis bid and was able to win, and that was a marvelous work. Let's clap for this team. It was not a work of Concert Technopolis alone and the Ministry of ICT and the partners in the country, but the entire African division. With the team that will lead the African division, from the team from Nigeria, Botswana, South Africa, Eswatini, and many others, we were able to put a very strong bid as the African continent so that we can host this event for the second time. We were bidding against strong competitors. Our friends in Quebec, Canada, was our strongest competitor, and we were able to win, and we appreciate the support of the association that Okinga, our friend, mentioned that he was leading the Association of Countrywide Innovation Hubs. The Mombasa County government supported us, Nairobi County government, Ministry of Education, and various government agencies supported this bid. And we are very happy to win as a continent, and we are very excited as a continent. We appreciate the leadership of the International Association of Science Parks under the leadership of Hipa Loon, who also, after winning, guided us in the preparation, and we are very happy, Hipa Loon, to host you here today. And now it's my pleasure to invite the CEO of International Association of Science Parks and Areas of Innovation, Hipa Loon, to make our remarks, and then we'll be able to proceed. Welcome, Hipa Loon.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, distinguished authorities, CEOs, colleagues, partners, and friends. It's also a pleasure truly to be back here in Nairobi. I think I have some slides just to also give you a visual snapshot of the IASP and what our association is about. Let's see if we can fit it in here. Okay. Okay, very good. So it's a pleasure to be with you all again. We already heard some great insights and comments in the opening remarks. On behalf of the IASP and our global innovation community, I can simply say that we are truly honored and delighted that Nairobi will be the destination of our next global meeting. I still recall, as was just mentioned also by PS, the great feeling in Seville at the General Assembly. The member vote was happening there. Concert Technopolis indeed put forward an amazing bid, and members from around the world, innovation professionals, they supported with a great majority. So this is really a knowledge-sharing journey. It's an innovation journey that we are all on together, and we are warmly inviting all of you to be with us in September. And for those of you who don't know the IASP, I would just like to give you a few comments about the association, a few insights of the main components. We have now the slides on, that's wonderful. And as we are in magical Kenya, I cannot move my slides, but I will simply say next, and I have somebody from the team who will be doing that great job for me. So as you see here, we are a worldwide network. We gather science technology parks, innovation districts, business incubators, all supporting entrepreneurships in their cities and regions. And also our key mission is truly to support sustainable economic development around the world. So we have currently over 300 members in 81 countries. What we gather there are all the management teams, the CEOs, business development people, international relations, in all these innovation spaces. And that translates into a lot bigger network, because they are also the gateway to all the innovative companies located within these innovation communities. So all these different science technology parks around the world, they gather all from the startups to the medium-sized enterprises, also to the big corporates. So really bridging academia, the marketplace, the corporates, and helping all the different innovative solutions come out in society and help address different problems such as climate change, sustainability, and other matters. We also are around since 1984, so the conference here will be our 41st World Conference, where we are looking forward to see all of you. We have 7 regional divisions. That's more for operational purposes, whenever it's useful, for the community, for the science parks, and one of them is indeed our African division, so that's also a wonderful highlight. Next slide, please. Here you see just the overview of the 81 countries. We just made the record in Luxembourg at the last World Conference. So this is truly an amazing community where we have perspectives always from all around the world. And it is a really global dialogue when we address issues and innovation around climate change, for instance. So that is, I would say, a wonderful community that I'm sure you will also be able to feel firsthand in September. Next slide. And this is also reflected in our international board of directors. You see currently we are led by our president from Sweden, Lena Miranda. Myself, as the chairman said, I'm indeed based in Spain, but my name doesn't look very Spanish. I'm from Denmark originally and have been for more than 20 years now in Spain, where we have the global headquarters of the association. You see also Engineer John Tanui and all our regional division presidents. They have a seat at the board of directors, and the different directors there always make sure that in our strategies, in how we support our member communities, we always have perspectives from all around the world. Next slide, please. And another addition, and I think important highlight also for the conference, in terms of digital transformation, the ICT sector, that is also a key part of our main theme here. We are really a network of a multitude of sectors, because all our different member communities, the different innovation spaces, they are active in such a big variety for cross-sector collaboration as well in the individual local communities, but also then at a national scale and at the end of the day also global, which is where we support all of them in connecting the dots and in establishing important relationships, partnerships, which is also something that happens every year at our global meeting. So there's a lot there to tap into. We work as this global observatory of all our members of the different innovation communities, and that's where we can kind of help collect all this intangible knowledge out there and package that in useful ways for members to tap into that and have that data also available. Next slide, please. And there you see just a glimpse of our Africa division. Of course, also this is one of our younger divisions, and we are really keen to support our key mission at the ISP is also to support the setup of new science technology parks, innovation communities, districts who want to support their city, local knowledge workers and entrepreneurs. You have this important big young population in Africa. I think that's where Africa is really a land of opportunity. We have important conversations around the demographics as well. So I think there are some key items in the call for contributions that you will all see, also you would recognize, and hopefully we will get some great submissions also from all around our Africa division. So we have now several countries there, and of course are delighted to support and enter conversations with many of you. Next slide, please. And there you see just a glimpse of the conference. I think Josephine also beautifully displayed what will happen in September. But roughly speaking, like, we have the main theme there, as you see, with demographics, entrepreneurship, and technology, so defining the frontiers of future economies. There are, as you saw, a whole lot of sub-themes that we can then also address, and then that will be displayed at the conference in different plenary sessions, also breakout sessions, so different opportunities to address the global audience, to hear experiences from Africa, but also from all the global peers who will be joining us. As you see there, we will have over 700 high-level decision makers, the different CEOs, managers, also government officials from the different science park communities around the world, many of them also submitting papers, and where this knowledge sharing to hear perspectives from both sides is really crucial to also support the narrative here in Africa. We have on the first day also training seminars. That is really for newcomers to the industry, anyone setting up a new innovation space or science park. That is where we have had this event for over 20 years, where experienced professionals from the network, they share their knowledge and they can help kind of to kick off that journey, and you can get that experience also from them. And of course, different welcome ceremonies, also welcoming any new members to the community who will then be on the global stage here in Nairobi to also greet all the peers from around the world. So really a truly global community, and I can only say from the vote we saw when Nairobi won the bid that they are all very excited to join you here. It's a great opportunity for new connections and relationships in terms of business as well. Next slide, please. So you see here we have this conference website. You can see in the QR code, you get directly to the conference website, and also to more about the IASP and CONSA if you follow these QR codes. And that is where you will also have the partnership package available. We are working on a range of different exciting options. What I just want to highlight here, that it's also customizable. Should there be anything, any tweaks or adjustments that you feel will make it even more valuable for you, then we are open also to hear your thoughts on this. And our team is there happy to connect, as is, of course, the CONSA team, and we can have that conversation moving forward. Next slide. Yes, so this is simply this encouragement you also heard from the opening remarks, and I think there's a final slide. Okay, so there you see also some of our collaborators from the past, from the previous World Conferences, and it's really just a little snippet of that. I think the key item here is really the connection with this culture of innovation, that you can associate also your brand with this whole innovation community of solutions for the world, how our many members are supporting also this mission. Of course, also, I think really a key item is the global visibility, to have that connection with peers, but also on ISP channels, and how we will support this media-wise, the connection to the science park community, but of course, first and foremost, also to put Africa even more on the world map of innovation. We are keen to support many of you in this conversation, and I really just can say that this is something, a journey we are on together, and we are here to support, and very much look forward to having a great meeting in September. I think that's the last slide, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so there you are. I hope it gave you a broader picture of what the ISP is. Of course, any questions, comments, we are available after here in networking, but also through email. You can always reach out to our team, and we are happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our CEO for International Association of Science Parks, Ebalun, for sharing with us the great work you are doing and the global reach. It's indeed been a great pleasure for me to serve as the African president, and also to sit at the global board and to connect with the brightest minds, the best scientists across the world, working in some of these over 350 science parks. working on some of the most pressing needs of the world and finding solutions and connecting what Chairman of CONSA Technopolis said, research, what's happening in the academia, our research facilities, and the industry. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you very much. We look forward to working together going forward. I would like now to invite my colleague PSS who are here, whom we are going to be working together, not only for this event, but for the success of the science parks in the country, and even for the space of science, technology, and innovation, and linking it to our economic transformation as a country. I now invite PS for Industry, PS Dr. Chuma Mukwana, to make his remarks. Welcome, PS.
Thank you, John. I'll be very brief. I want to recognize again the presence of the organizers of this meeting, my colleagues Hassan Abaka, the PS for Industry, my sister Dr. Beatrice Nyangala, the PS for Higher Education. I see in the room the CEO of the CONSA City, the CEO of ISP Eva, my brother Nakosti, CEO, Walter Oyawa, and others. Good morning. Yeah, my name is Juma Mukwana, the PS for Industry. We are glad to be here because, as you have all noted, Kenya is ready for action. I think that's what we want to say, and we are happy to be part of this action. From the manufacturing side, you do know that Kenya is a leading manufacturer within the region. So we, if you look at the global, the African perspective, I think that within the Eastern and Southern Africa, Kenya is a major manufacturing hub. We are the biggest manufacturing hub within the Eastern African region, contributing 47% of the East African GDP coming from Kenya. So that is a big area. You are also aware that Kenya is the gateway to the East African community. We are also strategizing ourselves as the gateway to Africa, especially through the African Continental Free Trade Area. So this is really a natural landing pad for new ideas, for new technologies. If you are thinking about Africa, as you have already heard, we are leading innovation and technology hub within the region, and we are happy to be part of this discussion. From the industry's perspective, we are happy to engage with you because, as I've said, we are manufacturing. We have issues in that space in terms of new technologies, in terms of how to tap into the fourth industrial revolution that is coming up. So we really hope that the manufacturers and industry, different sectors, will tap into this opportunity so that the energies of our young, talented, educated, tech-savvy young people can then find space within this conversation that we'll have in September. My take is that if one is really looking for new ideas to change the world, then this is a natural place to begin, and we are really happy to be part of this conversation. One of the areas that I want to indicate is, and you know that we just hosted the African Climate Summit. We also know that we had COP28, where a lot of issues on green manufacturing came up. We have a number of green manufacturing projects, green energy that have been initiated within the country. And so we will be happy to be in this space together to be able to share. And as we think about hubs, I think it will be good to see the global perspective that Kenya is looking at, not just being the East African leader, the African leader. We are also having very good initiatives like what we've just concluded, the Kenya-EU Partnership Agreement, that will allow us again to grow our manufacturing, to grow our exports into the EU. We are also working at growing manufacturing products, exports into the US, the African market, the East African market, so that these industrial parks really contribute to increased manufacturing and increased exports into these areas. The last issue I want to say is, as we look at manufacturing, you all know that this is really something that started within Europe. In 18th, 17th centuries, manufacturing moved to the US. I think when the Europeans moved there, when the costs became very high, manufacturing moved to Asia. So we've seen the giants, China, India, and my take is that this tsunami is on its way to Africa. The next natural location for manufacturing, global value chain manufacturing, is Africa. And so we are in the right place, we are at the right time to bring this discussion so that we can be able to tap into this potential. And because we have a skilled workforce, we have a growing middle class, we have raw materials, all this we've not been able to tap into in the past, but I see the increased enthusiasm, the increased traffic and concern that Africa needs to be part of the global ecosystem in terms of manufacturing, and I'm happy to be here for that. So for us, we look forward to showcasing what Kenya is doing within industry to pick and exchange ideas so that we can grow our manufacturing, mostly to tap into global value chains. I welcome you to Kenya, and karibu sana.
Thank you very much, PS. Let's appreciate him again. I now invite our colleague PS for investment, PS Abubakar. Konza Technopolis is also a special economic zone, and PS manages special economic zones. Karibu.
Chief guest PS and other PSs present, ambassadors and head of missions present, the CEOs and chairmen of parastatals present, the IASP leadership led by Ms. Eba, development partners, invited guests, good morning. First, I would like for the visitors to welcome you to visa-free Kenya. Kenya has been scientifically proved to be where humanity began. So if you are coming home, there is no need for a visa requirement. So welcome home. And also welcome to Nairobi. This is the only city with a national park, the only city in the world with a national park. So after doing all this, please reserve some time to visit our national park so that you can enjoy. But thirdly, I would like to salute and thank the IASP Global members for voting Kenya and Konza to host this global conference. I was with you in Morocco, where Association of Africa Economic Zones also voted Kenya to host the African conference. We are not taking this for granted. It's a strong signal to the investment community that Kenya is on the go. As a country, we are doing a lot in the investment space because this Konza is a special economic zone. And in the special economic zone in our Finance Act 2023, we are making these zones more competitive so that we can attract more investments to create jobs for our people. What we have done in this Finance Act 2023, we are saying special economic zone, they can either be custom control or non-custom control. So the option is for you investors to choose. You can take advantage of the quality infrastructure and superstructures in these zones without wanting the fiscal incentives, or you can decide to go for the fiscal incentives. Two, your capital flows is not restricted in coming into these zones. There are no foreign exchange controls, and recently, with the help of PS Tanu, we have even lifted the ownership of companies in the ICT sector, so there are no local ownership restriction, no foreign exchange restriction, and when money comes in and want to leave In our Finance Act 2023, we have said it will live without any tax. There is no tax on dividend, there is no tax on interest, there is no tax on professional fees, so money can move in and move out freely. And recently, we have now comprehensively reviewed the Special Economic Zone Act. It has just gone a public participation. I think this month it will go to the cabinet for approval, then it will go to parliament, so that we can make this special economic zone more attractive in Africa. We are not taking this for granted, as I have said. It is sending strong signal to the investment community. You can see the FDI intelligence has rated Kenya as #1 country with the strongest investment momentum for 2024. Yesterday we saw Africa, the big deals, rating Kenya as #1 in Africa in terms of startup financing, $800 million US, and we're expecting more ratings in the near future about our look back for 2023 and our look forward for 2024. So what we are trying to do basically is we know that this science, technology, and innovation it plays a big role in our digital and creative economy, which is a key pillar in our economic transformation agenda, which is based on a bottom-up economic model and to be enabled by the digital transformation. With respect to the mission or the theme of demographics, you know, as per the census, 70% of our Kenyan populations are youthful. They are very educated, very creative, very innovative, very techy, very entrepreneurial, and very good-looking. So it is our mission to make sure that we are providing an enabling and facilitating environment for private investment to create jobs for them. With those many remarks, I just say thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, PS, and also the great work you are doing, profiling our country, and the statistics are actually coming out excellently. Now it's my pleasure to invite our colleague PS, Dr. Beatrice Inyangala, the PS of University Education, working very closely with KONZA. KONZA is hosting 2 universities, the Kenya Open University, the Open University of Kenya, and Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. Welcome, PS.
Our chief guest, Engineer John Tanui, my colleague PS, ably standing in the feet of our CS for information, communication, and the digital economy. Our ambassadors, heads of mission and development partners present today, my colleague PSs, PS Hassan Abubakar of Investment, and PS Juma Mhwana of Industry, our special guest, Eba Lund, CEO of the International Association of Science Parks and Areas of Innovation, our chair of KONZA Technopolis, and my former VC, Professor Munavu, and other chairs present. I saw Professor Micheka as well. Also, the CEOs of state agencies, of course, led by our generous host, CEO for KONZA Technopolis, Mr. Okwiri. I see quite a number of CEOs here, ICT Authority, NACOSTI, NRF, our Kenya Space Agency, and the rest whom I may not have recognized personally. Our CEOs of private corporations and international corporations present here today, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once more. Yes, we have a big task ahead of us, and I am excited looking at your faces and knowing that we are not alone, because with all the brains gathered here, the load becomes easier, and we shall surely achieve what we are working at. And it's not just the conference, but it is what the conference epitomizes, our reflections, our celebration of the milestones we have made so far in terms of technology, and our critique of where we are as a country and as a continent in the space of innovation, compared with, what the other big economies globally are doing. There's a lot that remains to be done. And so for me, this conference is really catalytic. And I go into it looking at the opportunities. What opportunities do we have to really foster and grow and harness what we need to grow our science parks? You know that the role of technology in advancing socio-economic development cannot be overemphasized. Right from the times of the classical economists, when all the factors of production were put together, land, labor, and human capital, there was a component that could not be accounted for. And this residue was associated with technology. And so we need technology to advance across all our sectors. We look at the social part. How do we interact? Technology has changed the way we interact. The creative arts, the music, with technology, we have, the industry growing beyond our imagination. Art and design, and I'm saying this intentionally because for many people, and I know not you because you're the big brains in this area, but for many people when they think technology, they think only about STEM. But we need to innovate across all the sectors. And I am the mother who has the responsibility of empowering this 70% youth to realize their talents and contribute in this space. And so science parks hold the promise for us as educationists and the education sector. We have struggled for a long time to really realize the potential of education as an enabler for socio-economic transformation. But I see great promise in these science parks. And in Kenya, we are beginning with 2 already, one at the Concert Technopolis, working very closely with my colleague here, and another in the Dan Kimathi University. And we shall be working towards producing and establishing another 2 science parks. I am also excited about this because we need to grow our research capacity in the country. And so with these science parks, they really will provide an opportunity for our seasoned researchers to help and mentor and develop young researchers. And then the direct link to industry. And so from this conference, we'll be looking at how we can attract investors and just grow these hubs that will help us realize our aspiration as Kenyans as we look towards becoming a middle-income country, highly industrialized, with every Kenyan enjoying a high quality of life by 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a big task, but we are equal to the task. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, PS. I'm sure Ibalun is happy, especially you promised probably before the next World Conference, we will have 2 additional science parks here in Kenya. So we'll work to see that we can realize that. Much has been said, and I believe you've seen the importance of this event in respect to the Africa's economy. Concert Technopolis chairman earlier on outlined the journey to this point in detail, pointing out the competitive nature of Concert's bid. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the chairman, the board, and the management of Concert Technopolis for securing this bid and the opportunity to bring the 41st IASP conference to Kenya for the first time in its history, and also the second time to the African continent. Once again, let's appreciate them. As you may be aware, our work in the Ministry of the State Department of ICT and the Digital Economy involves transforming Kenya into a robust, digitally enabled society that's powered by strategic infrastructure deployment, cutting-edge technology and digital solutions, progressive policies, as mentioned by PS Abubakar, to enable a competitive investment destination that facilitates the private sector to establish here in Kenya as a technology hub for the region, and also as a hub for ICT digital skills development. We are impressed to see some of the tech companies represented here. We've seen some of their CEOs, and they have set their African offices here in Nairobi. Recently, we've seen an amazing establishment of software development centers here in Kenya, employing ICT talent, developing solutions not only for the country nor the continent, but for the global market. We've seen the Microsoft ADC African Development Center, Amazon Web Services Development Center, and others coming as a statement about our strength in ICT digital skills development and the linkage to our academia. This way we can cut a very thriving digital ecosystem that will deliver a globally competitive talent that will realize the government ambitious plan represented in our bottom-up digital transformation agenda. Concert Technopolis Development Authority is a key agency of our ministry, working collaboratively with all the other agencies within the ministry and those outside mentioned, NACOSTI, National Research Space Agency, and others in other sectors like health ministry, agriculture, and many others, so that they can come together, powering the country's ambition to become a knowledge-based economy, because this will be the differentiation for countries in their economic development. I am therefore very excited at the opportunity for this global conference to be hosted here in Kenya, as it will present an opportunity to accelerate our development as a country, and also that for the Concert Technopolis and the African continent. We recognize and support the institution's role in supporting the development and implementation of solutions that addresses the social and environmental challenges facing our region, such as in health, education, agriculture, and climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, as you might be aware, the priorities of the African continent in the area of SDNI space include many things, including research and development, which is an area we need to really enhance. Global data shows countries on average invest 1.7% of their GDP in R&D, but the African continent is doing about 0.45, which is far below. There is so much work we need to do. Adoption of STEM education and workforce development is also an area we really need to address. The ICT connectivity and energy is also areas the continent needs to address. We also have the areas of agriculture, health, water, climate, and issues of climate change adaptation. We also are aware of the continental issue, which is about unemployment, which this theme for this conference will be focusing on. That's demographics, entrepreneurship, technology, and defining the frontiers of future economies. And we believe this will define clearly our role, not only for our economy, but for Kenya and Africa to support the global economy. Likewise, the world is seeking ways to accelerate the achievement of SDGs, solutions to climate change, biodiversity conservation, environmental protection, global health learnings from pandemics like the COVID-19, There are also concerns globally about inclusivity, issues to do with technology ethics, education, and workforce development. And this platform of this conference presents an opportunity to address these issues. Science parks and areas of innovation, indeed all the key to unlocking these most pressing challenges by disrupting the norms and providing incremental development and opportunities for collaboration in respect to action and leveraging the strengths of each of our demographics. The ISP network provides indeed an excellent opportunity for the African continent and Kenya to be able to leverage and fast-track its development in the area of knowledge economy. As a science park and an area of innovation, Concert Technopolis stands on the shoulders of IASP 2024 conference to showcase the progress made and also the potential of its impact, its value proposition, and it will also be able to communicate in respect to the progress and accelerate its development as presented in the digital blue economy. It's in this regard that the State Department of ICT and Digital Economy and the government of Kenya has expressed its commitment from the top of our leadership through the cabinet decision to support this event and to support the Concert Technopolis Development Authority to host the 41st ISP World Conference on Science Parks and Areas of Innovation with the theme Demographics, Entrepreneurship, Technology, Defining the Frontiers of Our Future Economies. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa's science innovation ecosystem is still developing, but it urgently needs to mature to address local challenges, ensuring we are not left behind in the wake of the fourth industrial revolution. In my role as the current ISP African Division, I have had the responsibility to build the innovation ecosystem, working with my colleagues across the continent to ensure that we lay the necessary foundations and collaboration for knowledge sharing and also development. The ISP 2024 conference therefore presents a great platform for the continent and for us as Kenya to leapfrog and move to the next level. We are excited to work with our partners and other members to leverage the ISP network's potential for development of the science, technology, and innovation sector in the continent. We also commit to develop joint projects and initiatives that address common challenges and needs of the African science, technology, and innovation ecosystem. We are very proud of the support we continue to see from our development partners and to see programs and projects that are going to be hosted at Concert Technopolis and the rest of the country to ensure our country moves forward in matters science, technology, and innovation, and also to ensure we are aligned to the African Agenda 2063. We are keen to collaborate with the academia, research institutions, many are represented here, to enhance the quality and relevance of research and innovation, to ensure we facilitate the transfer and commercialization of knowledge, and to see the growth of startups in our country. We are very excited to see the results that came, ranking Kenya the top destination on investment, on funding for startups, putting Kenya top ahead of other countries like Egypt, South Africa, and Nigeria. It indicates the collaborative work that we've all been able to put forward. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to extend a warm, cordial invitation to all of you to join hands with us as we host the world's best in Kenya with the theme of our World Conference, Demographics, Entrepreneurship, Technology, Defining the Frontiers of Future Economies. The conference presents 15 sub-themes, as you have seen, that present the most pressing global needs of this decade. I invite you to be in the room in September to play a part in making this momentous occasion to deliver impact for this period and even beyond. I also challenge you to visit Concert Technopolis during this time or even before the conference and see the work which is going on of a smart city, a science park, and a special economic zone, all combined together, and it really represents the future. I was privileged to represent the ISP in Jamaica during the launch of an alliance called Global Alliance of Special Economic Zones. They are defining what should be the future of urban developments. And indeed, Concert Technopolis, in its own description, actually represents that concept, where you bring urban development where people live, you bring science and technology, you bring academia, you bring economic activities represented in special economic zones. So we have the necessary infrastructure and platforms to showcase to the world, and I invite you to visit Concert Technopolis and see the work which is going on so that we can participate more actively during the World Conference. It's now my pleasure to invite all our partners to be partners in this conference, extend our invitation to your countries, to science parks in your countries, to relevant institutions that are involved in matters of science, technology, and innovation, to your startup ecosystem, to your investment community, to come and join us as we host the 2024 ISP World Conference here in Nairobi. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Have you ever wondered why we are the home of champions? Have believed that in every one of us there is a champion. Whether young or unyoung, we bring out the best.
Thank you very much, our distinguished guests and our peers. At this point, allow me to invite our Global CEO of IASP, Ms. Eba. She has some goodie bags for our guests, the PS of University Education, and also the chairman of Concert Technopolis. So our guests kindly come over so that we can facilitate this handover of this. It is, I think, Ms. Eba, you will describe your note as you come and deliver it. And following that, we'll have our chair of our Business Development Committee, Director Charles Kilonzo, coming to make the vote of thanks as we come to the tail end of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And maybe, Josephine, I can have one of the examples here. This is just to show that we are indeed about knowledge sharing, about how to get all these communities together. We do have regular publications where we work as this global observatory, as I said, and I'm just delighted to share some of those insights and data with our distinguished authorities here today. We also have a soft copy for anyone interested, just to see our global community also represented and connecting the dots in that way, of course, with Concert Technopolis also represented and included in these data. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam PS Beatrice, please come on stage to receive your copy. We also have one for the chairman of board of Kodda Technopolis, Professor Rafael Munavu, who will be accompanied by our CEO to receive the second resource. Thank you.
Once more. Thank you very much. Oh.
So now I want to welcome our board director, Charles Kilonzo, to make the closing remarks. And immediately after this, I'll request our high table, our principal secretary, the chief guest, our colleague PSs, a chairman of board, and the global CEO of IASP, Ms. Eba, to proceed to the banner area. We'll have a photo session and a briefing with the media for a short while. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Charles Kilonzo, and I'm privileged to serve in the board of Konsa Technopolis. And of course, it's never very easy to speak after your bosses. PS, Engineer Tanui, and of course, a colleague PSs, your colleague, not my colleagues, PS, Higher Education, PS, Investment and Trade, my friend Abu. Thank you very much for that promotion. You sounded like a timed video. I like the way you promote Kenya. PS, MITI, we call it MITI, Juma Mukwana, and of course my chair, Chairman Professor Munavu, and many other CEOs who are present here, and the members of the university. I've actually seen one who is very key to me. Professor Ratemo Misheka was my vice chancellor. My degree has his signature. Why don't you appreciate him? Why are you quiet, you guys? Yes, there he is. He was a founding vice chancellor of Jomo Kenyatta University of Science and Technology. And we have many other professors present. In fact, with the permission of the PS, can I just ask the professors and members of university, I'm sure your boss, Professor Beatrice Nyangara, would like to see you. Can we allow them just to stand so that we see them? Is that okay? Yes, there are pretty many. Yes, can we appreciate them? These are the creators of knowledge. These are the guys who create knowledge so that those of us then who move on. Thank you. Please, you may have your seats. Yeah, I'm sure your boss has seen you, that you came to support her, and she'll be expecting you to start many more other science parks in your universities. But I also saw many other CEOs. Liquid Telecom was seated next to me here. I saw, I saw Swahili Port Hub. I saw Copycat. I saw quite a number today that were present, and I'm sure where you are seated near some of these guys who are really at the forefront of technology. Would you turn to your neighbors and tell them, thank you for coming, please, on my behalf. Thank you for coming. Please tell them, don't be mean. Yeah, just tell them, thank you for coming. Yeah. And of course, my colleague director, Wesley Maritime. I know when your boss is here, you're not supposed to be heard, probably just seen a little bit, but since it's not a board sitting, Maritime serves with me and our chair at the board of Konsa Technopolis, and we are here on behalf of the other board members, not really just on our own selves. Can I tell you, there is no better time to be a board member at Konsa Technopolis than now. We feel very proud. Of course, the PS was very calculated in his words. He thanked the board, but we all know we were not sitting as a board when this bid was won. Yeah, but he's very careful to thank us. We really thank you, Bwana PS, and the team at Konsa, and all those that came forward. I saw a speaker from Mombasa. I saw Swahili Port must have worked with you in that bid. and they are partners, our partners in Jitume, and many others. Professor Keoni, I saw him here, he must be in the steering committee. So we really want to thank you. And as members of the board, at this time in the history of CONSA, we are very proud, and we assure the CEO, Eva Land, and I was very happy to host you when you came for your inaugural visit, and you visited the sites, and I think the report was that you liked the land. And now you have declared that this thing is coming where it should have come. Professor Mugendi, thank you very much for sitting in that committee. So mine is now to really thank each one of you for making time to come. We don't take it for granted. We have been challenged. We have been challenged. This thing is coming to Africa. The 41st International Conference is coming to Africa. Let's make Africa and Kenya in particular proud. Go become our mouthpiece. Go become an extension of our marketing efforts so that when the videos are shared, when communications are shared, you can extend them to your communities around you. If you are CEO, please let your teams know. And as my chairman said, you know, prepare a paper, come and present, come and join those small groups so that we can then make this conference the very best as the CEO challenged us. Members of the fourth estate, my colleagues, by all means, you know, the media fraternity, they are called the members of the fourth estate. And I hope you know why you are called the members of the fourth estate. Of course, this came from Europe, British in particular. After the clergy, nobility, and the commoners, we come in as the members of the fourth estate. We hope you took tea. There is a story that keeps going around that a cameraman attended a wedding. And after taking all the pictures and the videos, at the end of it, when the others are being served, he was denied food. He was told, ngoja wageni waheshimiwa wakule, and while they were eating, the food got finished. So what happened? He got very disappointed and deleted the footage. So this particular wedding fellows went home without pictures, and you can't recreate a wedding. You know, you have to now rely on the photographers, what we call freelancers, you know, who took on phone. And what the joke now in our fraternity is that when the media arrives, please give them tea first, let them eat early, so that then your footage is safe, okay? So media, please go and market ISP Nairobi 2024, and we really thank you for making time to come. We trust you as our partners, and we appreciate you. Let's now be all upstanding so that we can conclude. I can't say a lot because my bosses spoke. We started with the national anthem and the East Africa Community Anthem. Now let's finish with a spiritual anthem, if you allow me. Let's pray. Our God and our Father, we thank you for the privilege of this nation, Kenya, to host ISP Nairobi 2024 and the whole of Africa. We thank you for the steering committee that is tasked with the work of preparing for this conference and making it the greatest ever. We thank you for each one of us who are gathered here, professors from universities, heads of technology divisions, CEOs, and each one of us who are working together with our team to make this a momentous occasion that will be remembered many years down the line. We pray that you bless our efforts and you lead and guide us and give us insights and wisdom, including our chair, Engineer Tanui, that he will lead the team to make this conference the very best it can get. Bless us now and dismiss us with your love, for we pray and ask these things in Jesus' name. Thank you very much. As we were directed earlier, I'm sure the media will be taking a few pictures. I don't know whether Josephine or the MC will be directing us to where we should go. The rest of you exchange contacts, and please, let's begin to market ISP 2024. Thank you.
Have you ever wondered why we are the home of champions? For over 60 years, we have believed that in every one of us there is a champion. Whether young or unyoung, we bring out the best of who we are. Whether in the arts, winning the Oscars.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Whether on track, breaking world records. Have you ever wondered why we are the home of champions? For over 60 years, we have believed that in every one of us there is a champion, whether young or... Have you ever wondered why we are the home of champions? For over 60 years, we have believed that in every one of us there is a champion. Whether young or unyoung, we bring out the best of who we are. Whether in the arts, winning the Oscars.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Whether on track, breaking world records.
there's his wife.
Or in the fields, giving a helping hand. Or at the dinner table, sharing love. Or in the wild, connecting with nature. We are Africa's Silicon Savannah, the hotbed of innovation with pioneering technologies such as the mobile money, creating a future where all humanity and nature can thrive. And it is not just about winning, but all of us winning, because we believe champions look just like you. And so, we can't wait to share our uniquely magical Kenyan experience in 2024 with you. Welcome to IASP Nairobi. We are ready to host you.